10 years ago, our home state of West Virginia had one of the smallest FIRST programs in the nation, with only 20 total teams.
10 years ago, our state's educational agenda would never have included an investment into enriching STEM programs such as FIRST.
10 years ago, Mars was formed and we saw that the students in our state were at a disadvantage.
So we set out to change this.
This is when our team's high-reaching vision began to take form. A vision of a substantial statewide robotics program that changes the lives of West Virginia students.
A significant community presence is how we got our start. Advocacy through demonstrations, classes, and camps helped us to grow the FIRST LEGO League community and our name recognition throughout the state.
7 years ago, we solidified our initiatives into an official strategy for FIRST and STEM education development within rural communities called the Mars Plan, which focused on community, partnerships, barriers, and sustainability.
Its implementation began with us gaining partnerships and other devoted supporters through this extensive community involvement.
These partners quickly got on board. Mylan Pharmaceuticals, the United Way, West Virginia University, our Board of Education, and many more began to provide us with the funds and resources that we needed to see our ideas come to life.
And 5 years ago, we convinced NASA IB&B's Educational Resource Center to put their full force behind our mission of state expansion. Once we became the state's NASA House team, we had everything we needed to inspire a cultural revolution.
With these partners, we then began to rapidly establish a strong base of FIRST LEGO League teams throughout the state by hosting events and providing funding and resources to teams. But we couldn't stop there.
No robot left behind. That is what our mentors have always taught us, so we continuously strive to create a supportive, enjoyable FIRST community that gives teams a reason to keep coming back year after year, thereby promoting sustainability.
We remain in constant contact with every team we start or support,
host open bi-weekly mentoring sessions throughout the season,
run or volunteer at multiple state FIRST competitions,
and provide travel funds for teams heading to championships.
In the last 5 years, we've built upon this strong base of FLL teams to make way for a sustainable transition through the FIRST progression of programs. We can now start getting students engaged in STEM at an even earlier age by building and funding FIRST LEGO League junior teams.
And high school students can now experience higher level robotics programs since we have taken over responsibility of the West Virginia FIRST Tech Challenge program in partnership with NASA. We currently run the state championships for FLL, FLL Junior, and FTC side by side at Fairmont State University to encourage students' transitions through these programs.
Speaking of Fairmont State, our work there over the past 3 years has led to the creation of the region's first VEX University team. With this, we have officially expanded our portfolio to supporting collegiate-level robotics programs as we oversee their inception and growth.
All of this program expansion is aided by our team's new student leadership structure, which includes task forces devoted to leading expansion in VEX,
community outreach,
political action,
and each level of FIRST.
The success of West Virginia youth robotics programs can all be traced back to Mars, especially when you consider our network of active students and alumni within the FIRST and STEM communities.
A student's experience on Mars instills more than just technical skills and knowledge. We each gain a passion for working within the community and making the world a better place through the tools we've been given in FIRST.
Mars alumni have gone on to be collegiate robotics champions, FIRST volunteers, and NASA employees. Former Martians have even gone on to found robotics programs in rural regions of India and the Philippines with help from Mars.
These inspired students we send out into the world complete the Mars Plan, their efforts and achievements ensuring that the message of FIRST is carried throughout our state and the world.
One way that we instill these values is for our push for a stronger national FIRST community. This year, we're spreading our Tucker Team model through FRC by encouraging other teams to run their own versions of this competition aid initiative. We've even applied to hold a conference at FIRST Champs on the system to grow it even more.
So here we are, 10 years later. The Mars Plan has grown with our initiatives as we learn from both our successes and our failures. This year, it was redefined as a more detailed 5-step strategy that is specific to our goals and a more accurate representation of how we got to where we are today.
Our strength comes from the unstoppable ripple effect created by the numbers of people, organizations, and corporations who have been inspired to join our initiatives.
It is because of their support that Mars is able to run an international first event in our state every year, alternating between our 26-hour FRC off-season event, WV Rocks, and the Mountain State FLL Invitational.
That same determination currently supports 114 FLL and 60 FLL junior teams throughout the state, numbers that have skyrocketed in the last 10 years. In fact, more middle school students in our county currently participate in FLL than in football.
This unprecedented growth has been supported by universities and corporations who host numerous events and have made West Virginia a state with one of the highest densities of FLL qualifiers in the country. And leaders within our community have begun to notice the benefits this has had on students.
That's why our governor has funded a new program making FLL the base of a pilot student retention program that will integrate EV3 and core values into 3 of our local middle schools to keep students on the right track towards graduation. Mars will play an integral role in implementing this exciting new program.
Too often, the physically disabled and incarcerated youth of a community would be overlooked when attempting to expand such opportunities. However, in West Virginia, we've made it so that students in the schools for the deaf and blind and every juvenile detention facility in the state have access to robotics programs.
A feat that would not have been possible had our state government officials not come on board to provide funding. The next step is to get them to recognize robotics as an official state sport, a title well deserved by the over 250 youth robotics programs the Mars Plan has created.
Today, our state is a national leader in FIRST program growth.
Today, students all over our state have the chance to pursue their intellectual and creative passions, no matter what barriers they may face.
Today, Mars is continuing to advocate for and grow these programs because we know how powerful our impact can be.
We are part of a revolution.
We are part of West Virginia.
We are Mars.